sorry to self-promote myself in this area, but I have a panel, Art of Professional Wrestling, tomorrow, Saturday morning, 11:30, room 113.
I bought your comic book. So good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, in part of that question now, how important is it for you to be emerged as a certain character, whether you're playing a demonic creature up from hell, or Evil-Lyn, or Harley Quinn, or any character based on pop culture? Influence on pop culture.
How influential is it on like our style?
On character-wise and
character-wise and style? Okay. You guys have any answers for that? I mean, I have an answer. Like,
Yeah.
like I'll go ahead and start answering, and then y'all can like chime in. Like, well, my gimmick outside of here is pretty much what this is. I'm a cosplay wrestler. So every time I do a character, I actually become that character. So let's say I'm doing Chun-Li, I want to be doing a lot more kicks than I would be if I was doing someone like Evil-Lyn. Because Evil-Lyn's more magic-based, you know, so you have to think outside the box and be more of like what would an enchantress do. Whereas Harley Quinn, she's known for her flexibility and her dexterity. So her offense was going to be way more fast-paced base, as opposed to maybe someone like Vixen, who might channel an elephant or a rhino or a boar or a gorilla. But even her character, she does a cheetah, you know what I mean? Like, maybe she'll pick up a guy who's like 200 pounds, but then channel a cheetah. And then, so especially for this wrestling, you want to embrace that character and bring it to life. We're not Sue Young, she's Evil-Lyn, when we're doing the actual characters. You guys have anything to narrate with that?
Yeah. When I first started, I started here, and then they asked me, hey, can you learn how to wrestle so we can use you more? And then for the 2 years that FSCW didn't exist, I had to think of my own character to be for CCW, and I had no idea what to do with myself. Like, I could cut a promo for anybody else except for Angel Crush, and I had no idea what to do. And then my trainer saw A Clockwork Orange, fell in love with the Droogs, and was like, hey, how do you and these two guys feel about being the Droogs? I was like, I love cosplay wrestling, that's the whole reason why I started, and I just thought, since I became the manager for them, I was like, okay, if Lana and Paul Heyman had an English baby, how would she be like the evil manager for the Droogs? So now I can, when you tell me, okay, you're going to be this person, it's so much easier than trying to think of, okay, what's myself amplified, especially when you have so much going on in your personality and you got to lock on one thing.
Well, throughout my whole life, I grew up around pop culture because growing up, you know, one of my favorite pastimes was watching TV with my dad about wrestling. So I emulated a lot of encouragement from embracing my weird side, I guess you can say, through wrestling, through comics, through cartoons, through movies, and I feel like with everybody here, we all kind of have the same kind of background, but at the same time, we're all unique and special in our own ways, and that's why when we all come together, it's like, oh my goodness. So every time I'm at a wrestling show or at a Comic-Con, I always notice, and I'm like, how cool is everyone here? It feels like a big party every time I come around, and every time, especially when I'm around these girls, like, I'm around my best friends, so anytime I get a chance to actually embrace this side of the world, it feels like a world that, especially in such a closed-minded area of the world that we're in, where there's a lot of segregation, there's a lot of racism, sexism, everything. To be in a place where you can actually go and be yourself is probably one of the coolest things, and I think, you know, having that kind of encouragement from other people that have the same common interest really makes us all smile in the end of the day, and I think that's what I look forward to more than anything else, and what has me embrace those sides to my characters. if that helps out a little bit.
Perfect.